Hey, I'm Paul, and in this video I'm going to explain how to use the external audio effect inside Ableton and connect your SSL to use it as outboard gear for your beats or productions. The SSL is really awesome for that. I can also do a ton of other things, and if you're a producer that uses Ableton and you're like, I need some outboard gear and kind of want to invest, I do think the SSL is a good investment because it gives you some great tracking abilities. You can learn a lot about like how to do proper monitoring and like giving people different headphone mixes and stuff. I think those are great things to learn as like a producer. Downsides are, not super full-fledged controls on the compressor or the EQ, but they do sound good. And in this video, I'll briefly touch on those things after we get it connected. So how we will connect it is we're actually using just two cables out of our interface into the preamps. So I have the Audient ID44. You can see here, this has 4 outputs total, 2 outputs for the speakers, and then 2 outputs are for, other things. They can be for headphone mixes, and in this case, I'm going to be using them for external gear, outboard gear. So how I'll do that is I'll take 2 TRS cables from the extra outputs that I have, and I'll be putting them into the line inputs on the SSL. And I'm going into the channel strips because those are going to give me the most flexibility. I could go into the stereo inputs and just use the bus compressor, but I want to be using the EQ and the compressors on signals, as well as potentially working on mono signals like snares and kicks. So after doing the outputs into the inputs of the SSL, I actually will plug in the output of the SSL, which are these 2 orange cables right here, and those are going into the inputs on my Audient. So how that is working is, my Audient has 2 mic inputs and then 2 like kind of double jacks. So so it has 4 inputs total. So inside of the inputs 3 and 4 is actually where I'm running the SSL. So then in Ableton, when I open up the external audio effects, that's how I match it up, is use 3 and 4 as my inputs and outputs, just all across the board. If you have an interface with more inputs or outputs, you will have to do that mapping and make sure you're lining up the correct inputs and outputs so that when you're sending audio out of Ableton, it's correctly going into the right inputs so that you're able to record it back in or whatever you're going to be doing with it in real time. So in this case, I'm actually going to shrink this little circle a little bit and then kind of show you what I'm doing. So this is just a song I've been working on. I'll just focus on the kick and snare first. So we just got the kick and snare in this group. So I'll go ahead and grab the external audio effect. And so right now there's no sound, but I'll send it to 3. So the audio to will be 3, and then the audio from, I'm also going to set to 3. And then I'm gonna need to turn those down and hit the line buttons. And cool, it's coming in. Ba, ba, da. So now it's coming in on 3, and now it's also going back into Ableton so you can hear it. It seems like it's clipping a little bit. I'm gonna turn off all my stuff. And then on the external audio effect, you wanna just gain, kind of level match a little bit. I'm just hearing it in 1, but that's pretty much what I'm looking for. Let's do some compression. A little bit less. A little bit of EQ. So yeah, that's, this is it. You can record this now and be recording the snare in. You can just set it up so that when you bounce the song, it's all like being processed through this or however you want to do it. Depending on what DAW you're using, like if you're using Pro Tools, that's how that will work in real time. But yeah, I think all I can do now is try some other sources so you can kind of hear what's going on. I'm gonna try the kick. Oh, and make sure it's going through 4. Now you can hear the kick coming through here. And now let's play the rest of the song and kind of balance everything out.
The sky becomes clearer, you'll know what to do. Find change in each moment, 'cause time will hold you. If we leave what is current,
I turned the compressor off on the
it'll
kick
tear
and
us
was
to
squishing it.
shreds. It's written in his paper, it says
I'll be also doing a video soon about plugging this up to some 500 series gear so you can also get access to some better compressors, just more functionality, but still have the Cool. So thanks for watching this video. I hope if you're curious about the SSL SIX, you decide to buy one, because you can always sell it if you don't like it or return it. And I hope this also answers your question about using the SSL as an external audio effect through Ableton, because that's the goal.